Hey guys, welcome to Echoes of Insight, where we'll dive into how the relationships with others build our actions and motivations. I'm your host, Zach, and today two guests come together with wildly different views. First up, we have Jack from Ken Liu's whimsical story Paper Menagerie,
Hello.
and our father figure, Mr. Wolff from Tobias Wolff's Powder.
What's up?
Today we'll be exploring how the relationships with our parental figures build not only the characteristics of a child, but also the influence that relationships have on how parents act. Jack, how was your relationship with your parents?
Yeah, it was tough. I didn't realize how important my relationship with my parents was until I lost my mom. I remember when I was younger, mom took me into the kitchen and sat me down. She grabbed me a sheet of wrapping paper and then a little paper tiger stood on the table. I reminisce about those times often before I started to push her away.
Whoa. Why would you try to push your mom away, even when she was trying her best to connect with you?
I was just scared. I didn't want to be ostracized just because my mom was different.
I guess, but you don't have to be the odd one out just because of your mom. Live life how you want to live, just like what I told my son. If you haven't driven fresh powder, you haven't driven. You can't let things hold you back.
Oh, what always ends up happening?
Mr. Wolf, what would you say Jack could do to understand others' perspectives without pushing them away?
I think for relationship with your mom, you could have tried to put everything aside and go back to your roots. Really try to connect with her like you did before you started pushing her away. Just be yourself with your mom, like I do with my son. Although we can be wildly different, we always got each other's backs.
Yeah, I guess I did it to fit in. It was hard as a kid to not have the urge to fit in. And the way I did it was by pushing my mom away. Because I steered away from her when I was growing up, I never tried to rekindle our connection, and I just wanted to go through my own life without my parents.
I understand, but having that connection with your parents is important, and I think it's hard to imagine both sides of that. Mr. Wolf, how important to you is your connection with your son?
Having a good connection with my son is one of the most important parts of my life. I will do anything for him. As I told him, we go down together. Even if my relationship with my wife is failing, I still want to try my best in making sure he is having a fun time.
I wish I could have built a closer relationship with my parents. My mom told me that the pain inside her was no big deal, so I took it at face value.
See, that was the issue. Just like with my own son, I never really knew what he was thinking until I actually asked. Since you never asked, I can see that you never really knew what your mom was going through as you were growing up.
Yeah, that's so true. I really didn't know what my mom went through until she outright told me. I found a letter from her after she passed, and it was like I felt the words singing into me until they squeezed tight around my heart. It hurt knowing that she didn't tell me how hard she was struggling because of how ashamed I was of her at the time.
Yeah, I actually saw online that older generations believe that younger generations, millennials and Gen Zers, share too much of their personal lives online. Older generations tend to be more conservative of what they share with others. How do you both think that view impacts the connection you have with the people around you?
I think that influenced what my parents told me about their lives. My mom literally did not tell me a thing about her life until she was gone. I think it was hard for me to truly understand how hard her life was and how much I truly meant to her.
Yeah, to me as a parent, my son means the world to me. So I don't think that I really hide anything from him because I need him in my life. I wouldn't give up on him. I knew our family was struggling, so I was trying everything I could to keep it. There is no world in which I want to see my family grow apart.
Yeah, he seemed close with your son. I wish saw how important family is supposed to be. Guess I realized that way too late.
It may be too late, but you need to cherish those moments that you did have with your mom and start opening up to your dad too.
I agree, Mr. Wolf. Don't think of it as time you can't spend with your mom anymore, Jack. Keeping the ones close to you in your life and having that connection with them is super important. You didn't always love the way your mom did things and pushed her away as you got older. But how do you think those experiences you had with her shaped you as an individual?
I think that pushed me to become more independent. Where I was so focused on my own life, I pushed my family in the far back of my mind.
Did you ever think that independence had a cost for you and the relationships you had?
Of course, my family, my mom especially, was my connection with my culture. But because of how I pushed them away, I never truly understood or was a part of the pieces that made me.
I think you should open up all the old items that your mom left you. Taking a look at everything will help you connect better with your culture. Even if you don't remember much anymore, it'll be a good way to go forward.
Yeah, I think that relationships with others have an impact on how you interact with the world around you. where Jack, you seem to lack a strong bond with your mom from distancing yourself from her and your culture. And Mr. Wolf, you seem to want to stay in your son's life and keep your family together, so you try to interact with him more often, building up a more active relationship. And as our time is coming to an end, would either of you like to share any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think that having a relationship with your parents and understanding what they have gone through is important. It was hard for me to maintain because every time I embraced my culture, I got made fun of. But I should have been me instead of trying to fit in.
I completely agree. Having that relationship is important, even if there are disconnects because of age. Building a bond with your parent gives you something to be happy about. We thrive in life by building lifelong bonds.
Well, thank you both for joining us today on Echoes of Insight. We're enlightened to hear from both of you about parental figures and relationships. Join us next time as we explore the nature of travel with special guests Nemo from Finding Nemo and Doug from Up. Until next time, stay positive, be kind, and love your family.